Hello, music enthusiasts, and welcome back to Dupre Music Studio. Ever struggled to memorize that intricate piano piece or guitar solo? You're not alone. It's a common hurdle for musicians. But fear not. Today, I've got a set of powerful tips that will have you mastering the art of music memorization faster than ever. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a budding student, these quick and effective techniques will revolutionize how you approach learning and remembering your favorite tunes. In this video, we're going to explore 4 effective tactics to help you memorize music faster and more efficiently. We'll discuss chunking, a method that breaks down the music into manageable pieces. We'll explore visualization techniques, which use your mind's eye to strengthen memory. We'll delve into hands-on practice, an essential tool for muscle memory. And finally, we'll learn about using mnemonics, a clever trick to help remember complex sequences. Dive into these methods and discover how they can revolutionize your music memorization process. So, grab your instrument and let's embark on this journey to musical mastery together. Let's kick things off with our first game-changing tip, chunking. Now, I know it might sound like a term from a psychology class, but trust me, it's a game changer for memorizing music. This technique is all about breaking down a seemingly monumental task into smaller, more manageable segments, and it's a tried-and-true method used by musicians worldwide. So what exactly is chunking? Well, think about it like this. Have you ever tried to memorize a long string of numbers or a lengthy paragraph only to find yourself lost in a sea of information? The same thing can happen when you're trying to commit a complex piece of music to memory. That's where chunking comes in. Instead of trying to swallow the entire piece in one go, chunking encourages you to divide the music into bite-sized sections. These sections could be as small as a single measure or as large as an entire verse or chorus. The point is to make them manageable and digestible. Once you've broken the piece down, you then focus on one section at a time. This means playing it over and over, getting to know it intimately. You're not just trying to memorize the notes, you're delving into the rhythm, the dynamics, the emotional tone. You're striving to understand the piece, not just reproduce it. Now, this might seem like a slow process, but there's beauty in the slow burn. As you immerse yourself in each section, you're not just memorizing, you're internalizing. The music becomes a part of you, and that's when the magic really starts to happen. Once you've mastered a section, you move on to the next one. Rinse and repeat. But here's the crucial part. Periodically, you'll want to go back and combine the sections you've learned. Start with 2 sections, then 3, then 4, until eventually you're playing the entire piece seamlessly. The benefits of chunking are manifold. Firstly, it makes the task of memorizing music less overwhelming. Instead of staring down a mountain, you're climbing a series of manageable hills. Secondly, it allows you to focus on the quality of your performance. When you're not overwhelmed by the quantity of music you're trying to remember, you can pay more attention to how you're playing it. Lastly, by breaking the piece down, you're better able to understand its structure and flow, which in turn makes it easier to remember. In essence, chunking is about taking your time, understanding the music, and building your performance piece by piece. It's not about rushing to the finish line. It's about enjoying the journey and truly connecting with the music you're playing. So, the next time you're faced with a challenging piece of music, remember the power of chunking. Take a deep breath, break it down, and tackle it one section at a time. You might just be surprised at how quickly you're able to master it. Chunking makes a complex piece of music digestible. It's a simple yet effective strategy. Now, let's explore the power of visualization techniques. Visualization is a potent tool that transcends the physical act of playing an instrument. It involves creating a mental map of the music, engaging your mind in a profound way to reinforce memory and enhance performance. But how do we do this? Let's break it down into 3 easy steps. Firstly, we have reading through the music. This involves going through the sheet, understanding the notes, the rhythm, the dynamics, and the overall structure of the piece. It's like creating a mental map of the music. You're not just reading the notes, you're understanding the piece as a whole. It's like painting a picture in your mind, where every note, every rest, every crescendo and decrescendo forms a part of this beautiful masterpiece. Next, we have imagining playing it. This means visualizing yourself playing the piece. Imagine your fingers on the piano keys, the bow on the violin strings, or your lips on the trumpet mouthpiece. Feel the music in your mind, note by note, measure by measure. Imagine the smooth transitions, the sudden changes, the gentle melodies, and the powerful chords. This technique is not only about seeing, it's also about feeling. It's about connecting with the music on a deeper level. Thirdly, we have mentally rehearsing. This is the step where you play the piece in your mind without any instrument. It's like a silent concert where the music is playing in your head. You're the performer and the audience at the same time. You can repeat this as many times as you want, and you can do it anywhere, anytime. It's like having a private music studio in your mind. The beauty of visualization techniques is that they're not limited to any particular instrument or genre. Whether you're a pianist playing Beethoven, a violinist playing Vivaldi, or a guitarist playing Hendrix, you can use these techniques to enhance your memorization skills. One of the key benefits of these techniques is that they allow for mental practice. You see, when it comes to music memorization, physical practice is important, but mental practice is equally, if not more, valuable. Studies have shown that mental practice can be as effective as physical practice in improving performance. It's like exercising your musical muscles in your mind. It's a workout for your musical memory. So, the next time you're trying to memorize a piece of music, give visualization techniques a try. It's not about replacing physical practice, but complementing it. It's about using your mind and your imagination to enhance your musical skills. Visualize to memorize. It's a tool that can take your memorization skills to new heights. Hands-on practice is crucial for music memorization. Let's dive right into the nitty-gritty of what makes hands-on practice so essential. It's the bread and butter of any musician's routine, whether you're an absolute beginner or a seasoned maestro. This is where you bring all the theory, all the visualization and chunking techniques into the real world. It's where the rubber meets the road. Think of it like this. Our brains are fantastic at processing information, but our hands, our fingers, they're the ones that need to execute the commands. And the only way to get them up to speed is through hands-on practice. It's like teaching your fingers to dance to the rhythm of your mind. So, how do we approach hands-on practice? Firstly, slow practice. This is the equivalent of learning to walk before you run. It might seem tedious at first, but trust me, slow practice is an absolute game changer. It allows you to fully understand every note, every chord, and how they all fit together. It's about precision, about getting it right rather than getting it fast. Next up, focused repetition. This isn't about mindlessly repeating the same piece over and over again. No, this is about repeating with intent, with focus. It's about identifying the difficult parts, the tricky transitions, and drilling them until they feel natural. It's about turning those stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And finally, consistency. I cannot stress enough how important this is. Consistency is what turns practice into habit, and habit into second nature. It's not about cramming in 6 hours of practice the day before a performance. It's about setting aside time each day, whether it's 15 minutes, half an hour, or an hour, and sticking to it. Now, let's talk about the secret weapon of hands-on practice, muscle memory. You see, as you practice, your muscles start to remember the movements, the sequences. It's like they develop a mind of their own. And when you're performing, when the nerves kick in and the spotlight is on you, that's when muscle memory steps in. It's your safety net, your autopilot, guiding you through the performance, even when your mind might be racing a mile a minute. So there you have it. The importance of hands-on practice can't be overstated. It's where all the theoretical knowledge, all the chunking and visualization techniques come to life. It's where you teach your fingers to dance to the rhythm of your mind, where you turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and where you develop your musical autopilot. Remember, consistent hands-on practice is a key ingredient to memorizing music. Mnemonics can be a game changer for music memorization. Let's dive right in, shall we? Mnemonics are memory devices that help us remember information. They come in all shapes and sizes, from acronyms to rhymes and even visual images. Now you might be wondering, how does this relate to music? Well, it's simpler than you might think. When you're trying to memorize music, you're essentially trying to remember a sequence of notes, rhythms, and dynamics. Mnemonics can help with that. They can transform something abstract, like a sequence of notes, into something more concrete and memorable. So, how do you create effective mnemonics for music? The first step is to find a connection that makes sense to you. Remember, mnemonics are personal. They should resonate with you and your experiences. Let's say you're trying to remember a sequence of notes, C, E, G, B. One way to remember this is to create a phrase using words that start with the same letters. For example, cats eat green beans. This phrase is much easier to remember than the individual notes because it forms a coherent, funny image in your mind. But what about rhythms? How can you use mnemonics to remember a complex rhythm? One technique is to associate the rhythm with a sentence or phrase. For instance, a series of eighth notes could be remembered as the phrase, running through the forest. The syllables of the phrase match the rhythm of the notes, making it easier to remember. Now, let's talk about dynamics. Dynamics refer to how loud or soft the music should be played. But how can you remember these? Well, you can use visual mnemonics. For instance, you can imagine a big roaring lion for forte or a quiet sleeping kitten for piano. These visual images can help you remember the dynamic markings in your music. Creating effective mnemonics also requires practice and patience. It might feel strange at first, but as you continue to use this technique, you'll find that it becomes easier and more natural. And remember, the key to a good mnemonic is creativity. The more creative and personal the mnemonic, the more effective it will be. So, the next time you're struggling to memorize a piece of music, give mnemonics a try. They can transform the daunting task of memorizing music into a creative and enjoyable process. You might be surprised at how much easier it is to remember your music when you're associating it with funny phrases, engaging stories, or vivid images. Mnemonics can make memorizing music a more creative and enjoyable process. Memorizing music doesn't have to be intimidating. That's the key message we've explored together today. We've journeyed through 4 powerful techniques to help you retain musical pieces faster and more efficiently. First, we delved into the world of chunking. Remember, it's all about breaking down the music into manageable pieces. By focusing on smaller sections at a time, you can master each one individually. It's like building a puzzle, one piece at a time, until you can see the whole picture. It's not as intimidating as it seems, right? Next, we ventured into the realm of visualization techniques. Paint a mental picture of the music. Imagine the notes, the rhythm, the movement. This is not just about seeing the music, but also feeling it. It's a multi-sensory experience that can help your mind grasp and retain the nuances of the music. Then, we rolled up our sleeves for some hands-on practice. It's the tried and true method of learning by doing. The more you play, the more you reinforce the music in your memory. Practice might not always make perfect, but it certainly makes permanent. Lastly, we explored the intriguing world of mnemonics. These clever memory aids can turn abstract musical concepts into concrete, memorable images or phrases. It's like having a secret code to unlock the music. Now it's over to you. Experiment with these methods, mix and match them. Maybe you'll find chunking and visualization go hand in hand for you. Or perhaps hands-on practice and mnemonics make a winning combination. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Find what works best for you and embrace it. With these methods in your toolbox, mastering music memorization is within your reach. So go ahead, make beautiful music and let it stick. Before we wrap up, we at Dupre Music Studio have a small request. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow musicians. Your support helps us create more content like this, and it might just help someone else master their music memorization. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more enriching content. Dupre Music Studio is committed to being your musical companion on this journey, offering insights, lessons, and a community of fellow music enthusiasts. You can also hit the notification bell to make sure you're the first to know when we post a new video. We'll delve into more musical insights, tips, and perhaps even explore some of your suggested topics. Your feedback matters, and we're eager to continue this conversation. That being said, we'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these techniques? What's your favorite memorization technique? Is there a specific strategy that resonates with you? Or perhaps you have your own creative approach? Share your insights in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. And for those of you ready to take your musical journey a step further, consider signing up for a trial lesson with Dupre Music Studio. Let's explore the magic of music together in a personalized and supportive learning environment. The adventure awaits, and we can't wait to be a part of your musical story. Remember, it's not just about memorizing the notes, it's about making them a part of you. And with these methods in your toolbox, you're well on your way. So go ahead, make beautiful music and let it stick. Until our next musical rendezvous, keep practicing, keep discovering, and most importantly, keep the music alive. Thank you, and see you in the next video.